Welcome to lesson 2 for our star review. So we should already have completed our lesson 1. You should have an 80% or above on your quiz. And now we're doing operations with rational numbers. So it's 7.3a for star. Open up to your next available page. And we're going to first take a look at integer rules. I'm finding that integer rules do not exactly fit going this way, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue mine going the other direction. That's fine. And again, please don't overuse the glue. Let's get that down in there. All right. For our integer rules, same sign, we need to add, different sign, we're going to subtract, keep what you have more of. For multiplying divide, same sign, we're going to have a positive answer. Different sign is a negative answer. And you can also use Bob the Fox, so he's good for multiplying and dividing. So we're going to go ahead and put his little negative eyes and his little positive nose. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the first two for adding and subtracting. Here I have a -7 and a -10. The signs are the same, so I'm going to go ahead and add them together. I have more negative, so it will be -17. This is the one that I think most of us kind of have some trouble with sometimes, but here I have a -2 and I have a -10. The signs are the same, so again I'm going to add. That minus is actually going to belong to the 10. So it is a -10. So we're adding the 2 and the 10 to get 12. We have more negatives, so -12. Here I'm moving over to multiply and divide. The signs are different signs, so my answer will be negative. 12 divided by 2 is 6. And here we have same signs, so my answer will be positive. 7 times 8 is 56. So I'm going to write 56. Make that a little better. All right, and this is all being done on my page 3. So I'll make sure I put that in my table of contents. And next page, this is going to be decimal operations. So here we're looking at different decimal operations. And for this one, we have a foldable. So we're taking this piece right here that you picked up on your way in the door. And we're going to fold it in half. I think I might even revise how I titled this. We want to cut the flaps. I forgot to mention too on the other one, sorry guys. The idea was I did these ones. And you're going to try these ones on your own. These will get checked off before you go on to lesson 2, part 2. So this is just part 1 about decimals and then integer rules. All right, so next we're going to go ahead and fill out our little foldable. And the steps for adding and subtracting is the number with the greater absolute value goes up on top. You're going to line up your decimals. If the decimal is out of sight, you're going to put it on the right. Let's go ahead and do the first problem together. So here I'm going to line up my decimals. So I have 9.8, 2.12. And wherever I see an empty space in a place value, I'm going to put a 0. And I'm just going to add down the rows, making sure I'm keeping my place value. So here I have $9.80, $12.12. So I'm going to add my pennies together. I have 2 pennies. Add my dimes together. I have 9 dimes. Bring down the decimal. And then 2 plus 9 is 11. On the second problem, here I have an 8. The decimal is out of sight, so I'm going to put it on the right. The 8 has more absolute value. That is $8. So that goes up on top. $8 minus $1.65. I do not have any pennies in this penny category to take away from, so I'm going to actually have to borrow all the way from my dollar bill. I'm going to turn it into $7 and make my 0 dimes into 10 dimes. Now I need to borrow from my 10 dimes and give it to my pennies. Now 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 take away 6 is 3. I have my decimals lined up. 7 minus 1 would be 6. So I have $6.35. Now we're moving on to dividing decimals. For dividing decimals, we need to make the divisor a whole number. So that's going to be putting the decimal to the right. We're going to bring up the decimal point and then divide. First we have a whole number divisor. So here we have 36.6 divided by, that's where I draw my symbol, 36.6 divided by 6. This outside number is already a whole number, so I don't need to move anything. So I'm not going to need to make the divisor a whole number. I just need to go straight to step 2, where I bring up my decimal. Now I'm going to go ahead and divide. 6 goes into 3, 0 times. I personally always do the 0 just to keep my place value. And then I bring down my 6. 6 goes into 36, 6 times. 6 times 6 is 36. I subtract and bring down. 6 goes into 6 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. Subtract. And once you get to 0, you're all checked off. All right, let's try one more. I have 4.5 divided by 0.05. I need to make this number a whole number by moving the decimal to the right of the number. It needs to get moved 2 spots to the right. And I'm going to start at the decimal on the inside number. If it was out of sight, I'd put it on the right. Move it 2 spots to the left. I have an empty scoop, so I'm going to go ahead and put a 0 in there and then bring up my decimal. And now I'm ready to divide. 5 goes into 4, 0 times. Subtract, bring down. 5 goes into 45. 9 times 5 is 45. Subtract, bring down. We have to keep bringing down until we hit the decimal point. 5 goes into 0, 0 times. So my answer would be 90. We're on to our last part of lesson 2. To multiply, you count the number of digits to the right of the decimal. To the right of the decimal. Then you need to move the decimal that many spaces back into your product or your answer. So then you'll be moving it back in to the left when you're done. All right, let's go ahead and try this out. 159 thousandths times 3 hundredths. Good thing about multiplying is you don't have to line up your decimals. So you're moving, not lining. So we're going to go ahead and first figure out how many digits are to the right of the decimal. 1, 2, 3 in our first number. And we have 2 in our second number. Now we're going to go ahead and multiply. 3 times 9 is 27, carry the 2. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 more is 17, but we carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 3 plus 1 is 3. Now we're on to our last step. We need to move the decimal back in. So first we went to the right. We made these whole numbers. Now I need to move the decimal in 3 plus 2 or 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put a 0 in that empty scoop. That concludes lesson 2, part 1. Next, you are going to use the task cards at your table, complete 5 of each type of problem, check your answers with the key. It doesn't matter which 5 you do. If you get them correct, I want you to move on to part 2. If you got them wrong, please try out a couple more until you have the hang of your decimal operations. Good luck, nice job, you guys are gonna do awesome.